yena bhutale sayam rupa kadamayam dadati suva padantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurve Shri Yutapada Kalam Shri Gurun Vaishanam Kar Shri Rupam Sakrachitam Sahagana Raghuvan Vitam Tamvajivam Satvaitam Svadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishavitam Ka. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastupe. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishpanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Vancha Kalapurtu Vasya Kripa Sandhubhya Eva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So I'm gonna pull up the text. So we read text 23, chapter 2. So it starts here. Nainam Chidanti Shastrani Nainam Dati Pavakaha Nachainam Kil Dayanti Apuna Sasyati Marutaha. So synonyms: Na means never, Evam Enam means this soul, Chindanti can cut to pieces, Shastrani weapons, Na never, Enam this soul. Dati means burns, Vaka means fire, Na means never, Ka means also, Enam means this soul, Kaledyanti means moistens, Apa means water, Na means never, Sosyati means rise, Ruta means wind. So the translation of this verse is, this soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. So it means that the soul cannot be cut into pieces by any weapon, it cannot be burned by fire, and it cannot be moistened by water, and even wind cannot do anything, and even wind cannot touch the soul. So purport of Srila Prabhupada, here we start. So all kinds of weapons, swords, flame weapons, rain weapons, tornado weapons, etc. are unable to kill the spirit soul. It appears that there were many kinds of weapons made of earth, water, air, either etc., in addition to the modern weapons of fire. Even the nuclear weapons of the modern age are classified as fire weapons, but formerly there were other weapons made of all different types of material elements. Fire weapons were contracted by water weapons. Like the fire weapons can be, you know, can be extinguished. Fire can be extinguished by like water. So uh, let's say if we have water weapons over fire weapons, so water will be over the fire. So nonetheless, the soul can never be cut into pieces nor annihilated by any number of weapons, regardless scientific devices. So here, the Mayavadi cannot explain how the individual soul came into existence simply by ignorance and consequently became covered by illusionary energy. So Mayavadis cannot explain the uh, existence of our soul, how it came into the existence, and since they were in the mood of ignorance, so consequently they were covered by the illusion as they are not clear how the soul came. So, nor was it even possible to cut the individual soul from the original Supreme Soul. So, here, Supreme Soul is uh, is referred as Krishna himself. The Supreme Soul, rather, the individual souls are eternally separated parts of the Supreme Soul. So, individual souls are itself the part of the Supreme Soul because they are atomic individual souls eternally Sanatana. They are prone to be covered by the illusionary energy. Thus, they become separated from the association of the Supreme Lord. So, as the individual soul is separated from the Supreme Source, although they are not different, but if they are separated and take the path of mood of ignorance and comes under illusion, then it became it's separated from the association. Like in Mrityu Loka, we have animals. After so many births, a human life where we have a tendency to uh, that we can think that far that there is a supreme existence and what's the existence of our soul. A dog cannot think of itself that uh, there, there is a individual soul sitting inside dog's body. So similarly, uh, an individual soul, such as human, if they come under the mode of illusion, they become separated from the association of the Supreme. Just just as the sparks of fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire. As here's the example given that as the fire burns, it's referred as the Supreme Lord. The sparks comes out around the fire. But if the spark goes away from the source, which is supreme fire, it gets extinguished into the thin air. So in Vara Purana, the living entities are described as separated parts and parcel of the Supreme. They are eternally so, according to Bhagavad-gītā also. So, so even after being liberated from illusion, the living entity remains a separate identity. So, uh, our Supreme Lord, uh, it's written here that since we are individual souls, and even after when individual soul is liberated, which is away from Maya, away from illusion, and away from any kind of material nature that separates our association from the Supreme. So even uh, when it's separated from the material energies, there is a separate identity of the individual soul. It does not become same as the Supreme Himself. As evident from the teachings of the Lord to Arjuna, Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna. Here, in the battle of Kurukshetra, there was there was the battle of between Dharma and Adharma. Arjuna became tensed up as his own family and relatives were on the opposite side, and he he was under the mood of under the mood of confusion whether if he should do his dharma or he should turn his back on this battle because uh, he was very unsure that if he should uh, kill against his people who he knew. So here, when Arjuna received knowledge from the Supreme Lord, Krishna himself at the battlefield, that knowledge received from Krishna, that gave him a push to know his dharma and duties, and from that, Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge. But at the end, he never became one with Krishna, as Arjuna has his own identity and Krishna has his own self, which is Supreme Soul. Just give me a second. Yes, so that's all for today. We are just reading this text 23, and if you have any questions or you want to discuss something about this words, you can text in the chat. I will try my best to answer it. And yeah, Mini Mataji, she can also help me answering these questions. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everyone. If anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself as well, or you can type your question in the chat. And then we also can, if you would like to share what resonated with you about this verse, then we can also talk about that. Have some spiritual discussion. Okay, I would like to call on Joyal Patel Mataji. Would you like to share what resonated with you about this verse?
Hi, Hare Krishna, everyone. So I feel more like what I can take from this verse is about that we need to, as like day to day, I need to personally, what I feel like there is lots of burden on the soul as well. Sometimes you feel about stress or your surroundings, family life, school life. And this more like gives me the learning that I need to keep my soul free and just go with the flow, because it should not be like as it's shown in the translation, right? It's, you cannot cut it into pieces by any weapon or burned by fire. So that's what I feel.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing.
You're welcome.
Hare Krishna Puja Mataji, would you like to share what resonated with you about this verse?
Hare Krishna. Well, I missed most of the presentation, so I'm sorry. But just like reading this translation, it's very famous that the soul is never going to die. I think this it sounds kind of gloomy what I'm going to say, but I always kind of envision myself like if it was at one of my parents' funerals, which is going to be really, really emotional. This is like one of the things that I would talk about, or to give solace to myself, is that those parents or those people have moved on, and they've just changed body. They just changed their chola. The atma, the soul, will never die. It will reincarnate right away, to a new like person in our own family, probably, like a grandchild or something down the line. That soul will just reincarnate, obviously depending on their karma and stuff. But so it can never actually, the soul never dies, and that's what's very important as humans, like that we've got this human form, is to chant as much as we can and be as Krishna's conscious as possible, so that we do get a good birth in our next reincarnation. So that could be like, like we could be like more spiritually elevated beings, like super souls type of thing. So this is like, I think one of the crux of our, like of the whole Krishna consciousness, is like that the Jivatma, the soul, is so pure and it's part of God, and it never actually like dies, right? It cannot be harmed. And so, we should never be mourning people. We should just move on and let them go. And of course, like, we're going to grieve over them for a certain time and all that. But actually, I had just seen a reel just a couple days ago, yesterday I think it was, and it was like a ISKCON person, and they were showing the reel, but at someone's funeral, and they were actually doing kirtan there. And it was such an odd thing, because you don't really see that, but they're saying that that's actually what we should be doing, is at the end moment of someone who's passing, is to try to give them the Harinam, chant the Harinam for them, so that they also can maybe say that, because that's like the hardest thing, like if you're not chanting regularly all the time, it may be hard for you to say it at that last moment. So yeah, anyways, that's kind of my reflection there. My little tidbits.
Thank you so much for sharing, Mataji. I can actually relate to that. We didn't really I didn't really have like a kirtan at the last funeral that I went to. It was my my paternal grandfather. He passed away, and I was advised to give him put a tulsi mala around him, and then also read the Bhagavad-gītā to him. He wasn't able to be very he wasn't able to be active, so we were just chanting and praying. That was the best thing that we could do for him at that point. So yeah, we should learn that. Wow, Chaitanya Prabhuji is here. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. We have.
Hare Krishna.
Would you like to say something about this verse?
I just joined. I think you probably did a good job.
Okay,
Thanks.
no worries, thank you. We have Srijita Mataji. Would you like to say something about this verse? Did it resonate with you?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
I would like to say that we are just parts and parcels of Krishna. We are eternal. I mean, that's the meaning I can say. Like, by these verses, like, these are the nature of the soul. So, you can say that we are eternal and we don't have to be tensed every time by this, that, all these materialistic things, because he's our eternal father, so we have to be his servants. We need to take we need to chant his names rather than focusing on all the disturbances happening around us, because he's gonna take care of everything. So yeah.
Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. And that is all. I don't think that we have Mukesh Prabhuji has joined us for the first time. Hare Krishna. Are you able to unmute yourself, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. How are you, Prabhuji?
I'm good, thank you.
We have Bhagavad-gītā classes every Tuesday evenings. Are you based in Edmonton?
Yeah, I'm living in Edmonton. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. I'm glad that you joined our class. We did review the purport very quickly here, but if Ritansh Prabhuji can summarize it really quickly for you, then we should do that.
Okay, so we discussed that soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by wind. So here we discussed that our soul is totally different from our bodies, and no weapon can hurt it. And our soul is part of the Supreme Soul. And just as if our soul comes under illusionary energy, if under illusion or ignorance, then we become separated from the association of the Supreme. So as is in the battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna, Krishna teased Arjuna's the lesson about Dharma, and that's how the Arjuna became liberated. In the battle, all the fight and all the killing that Arjuna did, the karma of that did not go on to his head because he's doing his dharma. He has to fight against the war. So that's about that this verse tells us. And moreover, as our Body has like three kinds of subtle bodies ahead, which is gross body, subtle body, and uh, just 1 second. Yeah, so we have physical body, subtle body, and karna shrira, casual body. So our first is that our physical body is left here. It's like we uh, took off the clothes and we wear different kind of cloth, whether it will be a human or not. It's like that. So our gross body is left here in the midfield itself, and the second was the subtle body, which is our mind. That is the thing that experiences and goes above into different realms, which may be upper realms, could be uh, uh, heavenly planets, or lower planets could be the hellish planets. So our subtle body is the one that experiences that, and Karna Shrira, which is our casual body, that stores our karma, and that decides where are we traveling next on to. That is the one that decides our next birth and determines the conditions of one's life. So that body that stores karma, that follows us unto our liberation, which means no birth cycle, no nothing, and going to the is I forgot the word, the abode of the supreme. Once after liberation, uh, Krishna tells, surrender all everything unto me and only worship me, which is where, and you will come to my personal abode. So that's all we covered today, and that was the explanation of this verse 23, second chapter. If you have any questions, we will try to answer you. You can ask.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for explaining. Does anybody have any questions on what we just discussed?
No.
No worries. We will discuss the three bodies in further detail, I'm sure, in other sessions. That was a new component. But I do have a question for Ritansh Prabhuji. What was something that you learned while you researched this verse?
Like, first time I got this, got to know this by reading about some Purana was referring to about some anarthas and papas, that if a person did something that bad, his his body in the hellish planets will turn into uh, an iron kind of body, and it cannot die, and it will be tortured in some kind of way. That was the part where I found out about three bodies. So the first time I got to know this, I only my mind was onto one thing, like this, my body will, like, Ritansh will go to some death kind of place, and I will be mortal, and I will be tortured if I did that. Like, my first question was this in the mind. Then I got to know that our physical body does not go over there. It's just our heart, our mind that travels. Not like our actual physical mind, but the soul, our soul actually goes there and takes that kind of body in certain realm. So that was about it that I got to know, and when I got to know about how our stored karmas in our next conditions in our next birth or condition on our what we are doing right now, that time I started figuring out whether how to know that what's our true purpose to uh, whether our true purpose is what is it to attain perfect knowledge, is it to attain perfect capital in this world, or is it to do the best yajna that you can do in a perfect way. So in all out of that, there is nothing. It's all that you are surrendering unto the Supreme, because our small mind cannot determine that what's best for us. Example, a few days ago I wanted to purchase something which is worth about a lot of money, which is probably $1,100 to $1,200, but but during that time period that I was figuring out, whether I should go behind it, whether I should work extra, or what should I do. So I did nothing. I just surrendered and said, whatever is the best for me, it will come unto me. I will not like derive my consciousness into the material misery of thinking again and again every day. So few days later, I figured out a second way. It was Allah's mercy that I can do the same work with tenth of fraction of the price. So that's how we realize that our only subtle mind cannot think what we need. Only our supreme source knows that we're actually what we require and what it is. Like a mother knows about his child. It's same like that. So that's about it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Prabhuji. Okay. Angela Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Would you like to share if you learned something from this verse, or whatever Ritansh Prabhuji just shared, if you resonated with it?
I was in and out. I really didn't. I was just here at the end. Let's just look.
No worries. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, well, I think that's it. If anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute or type it in the chat. Otherwise, we will end the session.
Yeah, thank you for this session. I think it's a great learning opportunity if you're in for the whole session.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji. We will continue every Tuesday, same time, same link. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We will close the session. Prabhuji, would you like to say the ending prayers?
If you can do it, Mataji, for me.
Okay, no worries. Vachakalpatribhascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.